When I graduated from Eastern Illinois University, my first position was a middle school educator. And at the end of the first year, the principal came up to me and said, "Hey, Rich, Pat's going to resign as volleyball coach. Would you do that for us next season?" And my response was, "Well, if there's nobody else you can find, yes, I'll give it a shot." So I took it the first year, totally ignorant, coached it for 2 years, and we did pretty well. And then an opportunity to coach high school baseball came along. I said, "Well, I'd like to do that." And then 2 years after that, I happened to catch a clip in the local paper. And Gordy Gillespie, who was the athletic director and baseball coach at the College of St. Francis in Joliet, Illinois, was looking for an assistant volleyball coach. Gordy is a legend. I wanted to meet Gordy. So I asked to come in for an interview. And just as I'm getting ready to depart, Gordy says, "You have the job." I really didn't want the job. I just wanted to meet Gordy. So I went home and talked to Joan. And Joan says, "Yeah, let's give it a shot." And since that time, it's been a joy of mine to be a volleyball coach. I started at the College of St. Francis, and in the good old days, you could play anybody. Our schedule, we had Notre Dame, Illinois, DePaul, Loyola, Bradley, Iowa. I had some opportunities to coach at the Division I level, but it wasn't a focus of mine. It wasn't a goal of mine. But when Washington University opened up, incredible academics. And of course, Terry Clements had won several national championships already. So the platform was set for success on the court. And without a doubt, the classroom environment was almost unparalleled. The word that we always use is balance. We must find balance in the time that we commit to the sport, and then balance with the people around us, in my case, my wife and my family. And I did a very poor job of that in the beginning. When I was coaching, I said, "Okay, I've got to coach. I've got to be on the court. I've got to be planning. I've got to be doing this and that." And my family did suffer. During season, oftentimes I would sleep in my office 3 to 4 nights a week just so I could watch DVDs of play and recruits. And that wasn't fair to my family at all. It balanced out more later in life when I did realize that they were not getting from me what they deserved. And I would think that would be a challenge for every coach who ever steps on the floor to find the balance that's necessary to be at the level of success they want on the court, and certainly be the level of success they should be at home. Joan, my wife, perhaps the most incredible person who's ever lived, would never complain. She wanted to see me happy. And I think there was a self-realization as, wait a minute, this is not balance. My family is getting the short end of the stick here. So very slowly, it wasn't an overnight thing. Slowly, I would spend more time at home. But what I would do is I would focus on quality of time at home, not just sitting home and watching TV together, maybe going out someplace to a festival or going to a show or something like that, and making it true family time. I certainly do have regrets. In the beginning, I was very, very, very almost militaristic. That's the way the sports used to be in my past, in my experience. The coach is the law, the coach is the God. What he says goes. You don't look for interaction very much from the players because you've decided this is what we're going to do and this is how we are going to do it. And then as I got older, I began to mellow a little bit, and I spent more time asking players. Oh, certainly, I planned systems of play, who would play where, but I would ask for their insights on maybe how to be more successful in a match. What can I tell you to make you more successful? What can you do on the court to become more successful? Because the more I coached, the more it became an interactive process of where everyone was helping everybody else. As in the beginning, it was very singular, me, because it's my responsibility. I'm the coach, and that's the way it is. And I wish I would have grown out of that particular feeling early in my coaching career. Perhaps I can throw in maybe a few tidbits here and there. Learn from each other. I found out the best way that I ever learned was watching other coaches coach. Instead of going back to the hotel or going in a corner with your team, sit in the bleachers and watch the next teams play, and learn from those coaches. And they were my best educators, my best teachers, because I had absolutely zero background in volleyball when I started, and I only learned by watching others. Teach your players on the court how to interact so that information is included. So like, yeah, slap hands. Okay, hey, next time hit line. Next time this person swinging swings cross court all the time. Move the block in on this person. So I ask the players to interact and exchange meaningful points. They're going to make them more successful, at least increase their chances for success. One of my bugaboos is the timeout. During a timeout, oftentimes I'll watch coaches and they're not planned for the timeout. They haven't taken any notes to say, okay, during this timeout, I want to say this, this, and this. This to the team, this to Sally, this to Jean, this to Mary. Use your timeouts wisely. Have things to say to your team instead of rah, rah, sis, boom, bah. Have meaningful things to say to them that will make them more successful and ultimately the team more successful. And if you don't win, you don't win. You gave it your best shot. Defeat, everybody faces it in every endeavor of their life. So learn how to face it, learn how to deal with it, and learn how to get better because of defeat.